Dojos. What is a dojo? D-O-J-O, dojo. Dojo's a gym, guys. That's a gym. It's where you train, right? Most of you people know what it is, or maybe you think you know what it is. A wrestling gym or jiu-jitsu or karate or judo, whatever martial art. It's basically, that's what it is, a training center for gym center. Now, in Japan, it's a Japanese word. In Japan, obviously, New Japan Pro Wrestling, the NJPW Dojo just opened up in Carson, California. And they're pretty firm, right? Didn't they kind of say that they're not a performance center, right?
Well, Shibata's the head coach, right? And he's legit, obviously.
Yeah.
And he said, he goes, he intends for this to be a dojo, not a performance center.
And there's a huge difference. But now, folks might not agree with me, but I will tell you, you're wrong. Believe it or not, the Performance Center is also a dojo. Okay, so many dojos, now the House of Hardcore, the original House of Hardcore, the ECW wrestling school years ago, was a dojo. It was a ring, it was a training center, there was a restroom, there was a small office facility. When I had my finishing school, that was definitely a dojo. Again, a ring, there was locker rooms, there was a weight room. That's a dojo. So the Performance Center is fancy clean and high-end, big money put into it with like legitimate strength coaches and trainers and locker rooms and showers. And I've never been there, but I heard it's beautiful. They have multiple rings. That at the end of the day, believe it or not, that is a dojo. But I understand what New Japan Pro Wrestling's doing with their dojo because, they've had in Tokyo, their original dojo, and a lot of the young boys, the wrestlers, the young talent, live in the dojo. So there's living quarters. I'm not sure if this one, because I didn't read the full article, if the one in California, Carson, California, has living quarters. But regardless, it's a dojo. I saw some video of it. They ran like a little show, did some spots, and did some matches, whatever. And it's very raw bone, And it reminded me of the finishing school when I saw it that I had several years back when I was in TNA that I was working with and doing stuff before the Performance Center was a thing, and I was doing this. And I've talked about this before, and then I just didn't have the time to put into it, and I ended up, to be frank, losing a little patience with some of the students. It wasn't their fault. It was just me. I'm a pretty good coach, and it was easier as a wrestling trainer to train guys when they were a piece of clay. Now, with the finisher school, I don't want to get off topic here, but I'm going to do it for a second. With the finisher school, I had to take – the part of the gimmick was you had to have 5 years experience. So I was finishing. I was going to try and – all right, what are you missing? I'm going to help you with what you're not doing right in your promos. I'm going to help you with your physicality in the ring and your storytelling in the ring, your physical storytelling. I had a strength coach that would help you with flexibility and strength training and stuff like that to get your body to your physique to a different level, all this jazz. I thought that would have been a little bit of a simpler process because it wasn't taking someone that you had to teach from step one. It was actually harder for me as an instructor because there were a lot of bad habits that a lot of these young men and young women had to break, and they were all awesome, and I'm not knocking them, but it was tough on my patience. Again, I have to reiterate again, I just feel like I need to because I love all those kids that came through there. They were great. And I just, it was hard. It was hard to break those bad habits. So, but anyway, just backing up a little bit. So when I saw the clips of what they got going on in California with the NJPW Dojo, I was like, wow, this the look of the ring, everything, it kind of reminded me of what I had on Long Island. And it didn't last long, and it just, I had to shut the doors on it. I had great ideas with it, went into it with both feet, and then it just didn't work. But the thing is, like, I want to talk about the WWE Performance Center. Again, I haven't been there, but what they're doing there is completely different than a dojo in the sense of the mindset behind it. They're both dojos, but one is a place that there's no bells and whistles, there's no sizzle, it's all steak, it's raw bone, it's blue collar, it's just 4 walls, probably living quarters, a bathroom, a shower, a ring. It's probably kept immaculately clean because that's part of the thing, being sanitary as a wrestler, because you don't want to pass a disease onto someone or get someone sick or staph infection, which is a real thing amongst wrestlers, because you're sweating, you're wrestling. You can get, if someone doesn't clean their body, something I never talked about on here. about how important that is. If someone didn't clip their nails, like when I broke in, if their fingernails or had dirt under their nails or they had long fingernails, you get heat, dude. Like I'm talking about, you get heat from the veteran wrestlers in these shows back in the day, or my trainer. Like Johnny Rods was like stickler with that. Like if you showed up and let's say you just came from work or you didn't get in the shower, you were wearing like stinky clothes, dude, you just basically weren't allowed to get in that ring. Like you know, it's about being sanitary. And we did that at the House of Hardcore. I was big into that. You couldn't wear the same footwear that you came off the street with. You had to, if you didn't have wrestling boots yet, so you had to have wrestling shoes, like amateur wrestling shoes that you didn't wear on the street.
And to that point, you shouldn't wear your shoes around your house either.
No, and you don't. Now you're telling people how to live. It's unbelievable.
I am, because it's the same.
I don't. I take my shoes off.
For the same reason, though.
I take my socks off. I run around barefoot, Twinkle-Toe Jones. That's me. You're damn right. That's what I love.
Not today.
I love running around my toes, popsicle toes. That's me. Anyway, don't get me on the whole toe thing. I don't have a foot fetish. I'm not a freak.
All right, Coach Ryan.
But I'm not running around like that. I'm comfortable with people's feet. I'm good. But I agree with you. You should be running around the house with your shoes on. It's filth, okay?
Filth muck.
Don't get in my ring with your filthy-ass feet. Put some new shoes on your ass, okay? So you got to be clean. It's important. You got to keep your body clean. So that's something they push at these dojos. But back to the WWE Performance Center. The thing with them, with their dojo is, it's a facility where they're grooming the next WWE superstar. So it's a full Monty, a full package from, it's kind of what I did, which I humbly say I did first, to a higher level than what I did because they have more budget, more money, obviously, and resources. But I tried to have a building, a training center, a dojo that was a full-service facility to polish you as a professional wrestler. Your look, your promos, your physique, your flexibility, injury prevention, in the ring from the physical end of it, live video of what we're doing, so we could coach you, that type of thing. Well, WWE did that. Triple H with the Performance Center, it took it to 10 times the level I did, and that's what they have there. I don't think that a Japanese professional wrestling dojo does that. I don't think they want to do that. That's not their goal. Their goal is to teach you the nuances of how to be a great pro wrestler, an athlete, and how to be respectful and pay your dues. That's what a Japanese-style pro wrestling dojo is. A little bit different than WWE Performance Center.
And to that point, I was reading about Jay White, who's now the United States heavyweight champion for NJPW.
I didn't see the show, and I'm so pissed at myself. I didn't see that. I got to catch up because I was traveling over the weekend. I just didn't see it. And
you've seen a lot of NJPW,
of course,
and we know
I worked for them, bro.
Right.
Jesus.
No, I'm saying recently too.
Oh, recently, yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, I have. Yeah,
they have great talent and everything. We know that. We know the wrestlers, and we love it. But I got to tell you, this show that was live last weekend, the actual
you were telling me that the HD,
the quality,
the 4K-ish.
Yeah, you felt like you were in the ring with these guys. The quality was so good. It was such a great look.
Like a different level of a high def.
Yeah, it looked amazing. It was a great show.
How could I see this?
It probably replayed on Axis.
Yeah, I got to check it out. How long was the show? 2 hours?
No, I think it was like 4 hours. I thought it said on my DVR. But you could skip around.
I got to take a nap.
You could skip around.
I got to sleep. I worked 9,000 shows. I do. I got to sleep at some point.
Like I said, I read up about Jay White, how I think Finn Balor was the one who invited him to New Japan or suggested him.
Yeah.
And he went to New Japan and he talked about being a young boy and all the things they have to do, cook for the wrestlers.
Oh, yeah. You pay your dues.
It's like the Army. So I think in that respect, with a New Japan dojo is compared to WWE Performance Center, I think that's what the biggest difference is. It's like you got to pay your dues on a real low level, like you're a private coming into the Army.
Well, I remember it. I remember just years ago when I wrestled there, the younger Japanese wrestlers, they would, and for those that are new to Japanese strong style or pro wrestling in Japan, if you watch NJPW, on Access TV or on the internet or whatever, on YouTube, whatever, you'll see when wrestlers come out, there are guys that are flanked by them in like sweatsuits or something like that, and they look athletic and they're young. Those are young wrestlers from the dojo. So, okay, Team Tazz back in ECW, that concept was, I took it from what they do in Japan. And I had guys around me in orange and black sweatsuits with a Team Tazz flag, and it was guys from the House of Hardcore. So that was kind of like a real feel, to be honest. And I don't know if a lot of people know that, but guys like Danny Doring or Chris Chetty, and guys who broke out and did well, and Roadkill, and a lot of different guys were in there. And Tom Marquez. I'm just trying to think of different names. It's been a long time, but these were guys out of the dojo, and they were paying their dues, and we used it as a gimmick. It was a way to get them on TV, and it was cool for the most part. It was fun. I mean, they weren't cooking me meals. It wasn't like that, but they do that in Japan, and I remember seeing it firsthand when these young guys were bringing guys to the ring, walking guys to the ring. I wrestled one of them once. That story I told about when a guy kicked me in the face and basically knocked my lip through my tooth, and my tooth came through my lip, and and we were like, I don't know where the hell we were, Osaka, somewhere outside of Tokyo, like far from Tokyo, and I flipped out and took him down and won. And then he got banged up, and then I had to go to the hospital, get stitched up, and he was a young boy. That's the reason I'm telling the story. He was a guy, and the office was mad at him because he was sloppy and just basically kicked me in the face as hard as he possibly can. So I to this day I still swear he meant it, but I didn't know this guy. He was a young guy. I didn't know him for a hole in the wall.
Is that back in the day when they used to test the American wrestlers?
They did, but it wasn't normal that they test you with a young boy. Like I've been in there and I've been in tag matches with guys that were tested. I've never really been tested that much. I've seen guys get tested. I saw actually a tag match. Me and Sabu were in a tag match, and we were against Chono, I think. No, somebody else. I can't remember. And one guy, the match got a little fuzzy. They tried to test Sabu, and Sabu passed the test. And then I helped him with the test. And then we had to get out of there with the ECW tag belts quick. So, it was... Paul was like, what did you guys do? I'm trying to do business with them. You guys are fighting. Stop. Oh, I'm not kidding. It was crazy. Whatever. But we weren't wrestling young guys. But anyway, no, what the Japanese professional wrestling, and it's not just New Japan. There's so many different dojos in Japan for pro wrestlers.
All Japan's still around too.
That's right, and they do it the right way. And it's an interesting thing. It's a humbling experience. And then when guys end up becoming stars or get the push, they appreciate it. I'm not saying the WWE wrestlers in the Performance Center don't pay dues. I'm not saying that they don't get humbled. I'm not saying that at all. But you can't compare it to the way younger wrestlers are treated in Japan compared to what they treat at the Performance Center. It's apples and oranges. So, but again, what WWE's doing at the Performance Center is they're trying to create the next big star. And it's not bad business. It's smart business. So